Hi, I'm Victor Margiotta, and this is the Community Show. We are very lucky to have police officer and chief of Peekskill Police Department, Don Halmy, has decided to come on and talk about being a police officer and the community. And of course, you know, what this show is all about is how people can get involved. So thank you so much, Donald, for coming on.
Oh, Victor, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, this is great.
Good,
you know.
good.
I always ask people, you know, where you grew up and talk a little bit about your family. So
I grew up in Queens,
uh-huh.
In an area, you know, very similar to Peekskill.
Wow.
I like to think that I've lost my city accent, but most people tell me I haven't lost it yet.
All right.
I am married. I have 2 kids. I have a son in college right now. He's studying to be a funeral director.
Oh my God.
He jokes with me that he tells me, "Dad, you're a first responder, and I'm going to be a last responder." So, you know, things go well for me in the family life. I studied biology actually in college.
Oh, really?
That was kind of my first interest. Was right out of high school. I got a job at the Bronx Zoo, and I worked there for almost 16 years. And really it developed my, you know, a lot of my leadership skills, a lot of the, you know, my work ethic, you know, really developed in that job. And, you know, when you start a job, kind of your first, you know, growing up and you're doing one thing only, you know, you start to get you want a little bit of a taste of something else. And, you know, I think that's what brought me to police work. You know, I had an uncle I'm very close to. He was a police officer. He was involved with the Joint Terrorist Task Force down in New York City. You know, although he was with NYPD, he worked with the FBI, and this was, you know, during the 70s with the FALN bombings. And, you know, he would tell me stories about, you know, all the type of things he would do with police work.
Right.
And, you know, I just, you know, I'd
Really
always,
sparked
I
your
liked working
interest.
with animals, but I like, you know what I mean? But the idea of police work had always, you know,
Intrigued
excited
you.
me too.
Yeah.
And, yeah, about 20 years ago, you know, I was lucky enough to become a police officer here in the city of Peekskill.
Excellent. So what police academy did you go to?
I went down to the Westchester Police Academy, where I guess back in May would have been 20 years ago. This May that I
congratulations.
Yeah, nice that
That's great.
I graduated. Actually, I just went to the graduation of three rookie recruits that we had just hired. Graduated, you know, in the end of May, and there was exactly 40 classes since I had been there, because there's 2 a year.
Wow.
So I believe I was the 107th. They were the 147th. You know, and it's, you know, one of the things is you see they do like a slideshow when you know, right at the graduation ceremony, and it's great because you get to see, you know, you're reminded of all the things you did. You know, first and foremost, you always remember like the physical fitness stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing push-ups every day. You have to, whether it was pouring rain, snowing. We started in January, so you know what the weather is like. Right. You know, we were outside running. Yeah. The campus at the academy's over near Westchester Medical Center. So we'll be out running in the campus in the pouring rain and the snow and the ice. Then come back, we're doing push-ups, sit-ups, you know, you name it. You know, so that's the part that you never forget because, you know, it's the biggest physical drain on you. But we did a lot of, you know, learning the law, you know, really learning, you know, the penal law, which is, you know, which involves all the crimes that people are arrested for. You also have to learn the criminal procedure law, which is basically, you know, the arrest process through the court process. You know, all the different things that, you know, each person that's arrested has to be, you know, fairly treated fairly and, you know, within the law. Yeah. You're learning the traffic laws, the, you know, like family court laws. I mean, the book is, you know, it's a thick book with a lot of stuff to learn. Yeah. And, but fortunately through the academy, you're learning that. And then you get a lot of hands-on. You know, we're doing, you know, like building searches and handcuffing and, you know, different, you know, talks about, you know, dealing with like PTSD, dealing with the emotionally disturbed. You know, you're kind of just getting that hands-on education about
what you're actually going to be dealing with.
What you're going to be doing, right. But then it's not till you get here that really the real learning begins. once you actually become a police officer. That first day you get in your car or you're out on a foot post, that's when you really start to learn.
You guys actually have a program for kids to kind of introduce them to being police officers.
Exactly. We have a youth academy that we run every summer. We're actually getting ready to start it next week. And this is a program that we have this year's going to be our largest one ever. We have about 60 about 60 kids in the youth academy.
Right.
And it's a summer camp program for kids that want to see what it's like to be in a police academy setting. We're going to do that physical fitness. We're going to do education stuff, and we're going to be doing like a lot of hands-on activities. One of the great things is they'll learn about like traffic stops. They go down to the police academy where the aviation team shows them the helicopter. They'll do like their bomb squad will go over a little thing with them. We went down to Ground Zero with them last year, and the kids really got to, whereas they're kids and they're having a lot of fun, but going to Ground Zero was a much more humbling experience, and really, getting to see what went on there, because, when it says 9/11, never forget, that's important, and no one ever forgets. Yeah. So it was great to have the kids experience that.
So you graduated the academy and you came right to Peekskill.
I came right to Peekskill. Yeah, it was my first. It was my first police job. Some will transfer other jobs. Yeah. Some, I think when I was getting canvassed, I got canvassed by a few different departments. But what I really liked about Peekskill is I liked that city atmosphere.
Yeah. And it reminded you of home.
It reminded me of home. It reminded me exactly of what it was like, where I grew up, and I think it gave you the most well-rounded experience of what it's like to be a police officer. Yeah. As opposed to being in maybe a quieter type atmosphere. I didn't want that. I wanted to be where people really wanted your help, what I mean? Like you were there, because people felt that they needed you, not just arresting criminals. We always ask the kids, we bring them through the courses all the time. We give tours, and the first question I ask is, what is it that police officers do? And all the kids raise their hand and they say, they arrested the bad guy. And I says, well, we do that, sure. I says, but really what we do is we help people. We're there to help you. We're there to, when you need someone, we're there. And we work, listen, a lot of times we're the 24/7, 365. So, like our phone, someone's always answering our phone. So we're always, so for a lot of people, we're looked upon as someone that when you don't know who else to call, you call the police.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I know it's a difficult job. So what are some of the difficulties of the job?
Some of the things, being a police officer, we're often referred to as the, kind of the, like the dog that guards the flock, the sheep, and against the wolf. That's kind of an analogy like you'll see in some things. And, it's a hard job. It is a hard job where we're out there trying to protect people, and we're trying to, do it in a safe manner. One of the things that it's a positive in a lot of ways, but it's also a negative, like social media, how, people will take, short clips of videos, and they'll jump to conclusions. They don't know what happened. They don't know the whole story. They see a snippet of something, and then all of a sudden, they're judging the police. They're saying, this is terrible, but they're not looking at the big picture. They don't know the big picture, and for a lot of reasons, there's information that, you can't always release, everything. But cases should not be tried, on the internet, and on your cell phone through social media. That's what the courts are for. That's what, if there are issues that need to be brought up, then they need to be brought up through proper channels. People that just, they can just write, negative stuff on Facebook pages and Instagram, Twitter. It doesn't really help anyone. We want people to help. We want people to get involved. But just those that just sit and, kind of the typewriter terrorists that just, that just write the negative. They're never offering solutions. They're never offering to get involved, to become part of the solution. But they love to, to
well,
tear
the
people
problem, like
apart.
you said, is they just show the clip of the incident and not what happened prior to the incident.
Exactly. Exactly.
I know recently they had a girl in school where the principal had to go in, and they had the security guard, and then finally they had to call the cop. And then the only thing you saw was her being dragged out by the cop.
Right.
And then, like you said, then everybody draws their own conclusion on what happened.
In their opinion, they watched something. They said, "Oh, this kid started acting up," so they called the cops, and the cops just dragged the kid out.
They didn't show the 2 hours, that happened beforehand.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
that's tough.
Yeah, and there's just many situations where the cops are doing everything to minimize any type of confrontation, conflict. Another thing, like we talk about, with the kids, I always ask, what's the most important, tool that a police officer has, and they'll say, oh, the gun or the handcuffs, and I'm like, no, wrong answer. The most important tool we have is our communication skills. Exactly. It is how we talk to people, because an officer that knows how to talk to people and that knows how to communicate can often de-escalate most situations. Yeah. So that's something that and that's something that we have in most of our officers. We are blessed to have many officers that they care, they're good communicators, and it's the first thing they say is that they want to be out there helping people.
Yeah. Now you have another program with kids that you're actually going to this afternoon. Why don't you talk about that a little bit? Yeah,
we're involved with the school administrators right now, with the youth bureau. The mayor is very actively involved in this. Oh, nice. It's a youth initiative where we're trying to put kids together that are kind of like the leaders, the mentors of with teens. Mm-hmm. We're trying to put them together with other kids that maybe that need leadership. They need someone to kind of guide them away from some maybe the negative aspects that you get from just hanging out without like a real direction. We want to have kids kind of that peer-to-peer mentorship program that both groups and both will benefit. The young leaders, who are only becoming stronger leaders and better leaders, and that will help them in the future, going on. Sure. The others that kind of, need to hopefully benefit from some of that leadership and realize that, like fighting after school, the dangers of, drugs and alcohol, things like that, how, that's only going to put them in a bad situation. Yeah. So we want to be able to, that you don't even realize it, that the kids themselves are actually making a difference.
Yeah, well, that's great. It's good for the young kids and the kids that are helping, because, that'll help them throughout their life,
yes.
Constantly looking out to help other people.
Absolutely.
It's tough to get people to help out the police department, but what are some ways that people can help out?
One of the most important things for people is to be well informed. Mm-hmm. We talked about social media, like the negative of like trying things in social media, but there's positives too. Like we have a Peekskill Police Facebook page, right? And by that we have Instagram. By going on these sites and signing up for these sites, if you're the social media savvy type person, and that's what you like, which a lot of people are, it's kind of, I didn't grow up on that. It's something that I had to like learn about. I'm not, one of these people always on Facebook, but we get information out to people. We get them, learning about the events that we're doing. Sometimes even just like with a lost dog, something like that, where we're pointing people in the direction of, hey, can anyone help us with this? Can anyone help us with identifying this person? That may be, we've had it with missing people. We've had it with criminal acts where we have a face of someone. Can you recognize that? Yeah. We asked them to sign up. We have a program called Code Red.
There you go.
And Code Red is something that you can access through the City of Peekskill's website. under the police section of the city website. And if you sign up for this, you'll be given emergency alerts. If there's power outages, if there's flooding, if the water is out, if there's some type of criminal activity that we might say, hey, everyone, stay locked in stay in your house, lock your door. Right now we're conducting a search. There's just anything. We can get any information out there we want. It's very similar to those who have kids in school. That when you get the phone call at your home that says school will be closed today because of the snow, or there's a situation at the high school today and no after school activities there are canceled. It's getting the information out there. We have a Tip 411 program, which again you can access through the City of Peekskill website. And through Tip 411, you can give us information. Sometimes people don't want to call direct. They're a little scared, a little nervous. They don't want to call the police, but you can send it's an anonymous message, that does come to us, and it might let us know about, activity that's happening near them that concerns them. The only thing we do ask with things like messaging on Facebook, messaging on 411, is that if it's an emergency, call 911 or call the station, at 737-8000 direct. Don't just type in an email, send it, and then expect an officer to get right there, because that's not an emergency. Right. But really, we try to get people, involved. Yeah. I know the PBA does a lot of good thing, and the PBA is the association, of the police officers that works in the community. To try to help with different programs that are doing, like they offer scholarships to Peekskill seniors. Nice. They offer scholarships, to the kids that maybe showed interest in becoming police officers. They'll help with first responders who have met with tragedy, and for college funds for their kids, things like that. Great. The PBA does fundraisers at the Paramount. They just last May they did a Johnny Cash tribute band. Did a show that people really raved about. I was just talking with the PBA president. They're talking about possibly getting a four-wheeler, a quad ATV that they want to raffle off. Have a set number of tickets and do that as a raffle, as a fundraiser. But they really, the PBA gets involved in a lot of charity events, that they fundraise for, and then help to support. So that's a great cause too.
Excellent. And then you have a block party coming up. It's kind of time sensitive because we're taping now, but you do have it every year, right? Yeah,
every year. Every year, it's usually the first Tuesday every year of August. So this year it's August 6th, and it's called National Night Out. And what it is it's kind of a night to invite the community out to meet the police, to meet the youth. The Youth Bureau really spearheads this. Tuesday McDonald does a great job with putting all these activities together on the 10 block of North Division Street. The police part themselves will be doing like a cookout there, so we'll have like a little hot dog barbecue or something, and drinks and chips, to give out to anybody that wants. Yeah. There's usually other sponsors there. I know the Scouts have been there before. I know like the DA's office here in Peekskill has been there. Some of the organizations that through the like Hudson River Healthcare, different organizations like that. They all come out to try to just let people know that they're there, and what services we offer. And like for the police department, it's just a way to come out and meet some of the police. Yep. Even our three newest police officers that just graduated the academy, they'll be there. So it's it's just a great time for officers and the public to get to know each other and to realize we're people just like everyone else. Yeah. That's the key.
I like to always stay positive on the show, but this heroin thing, it seems like it just keeps getting swept under the rug, and people are still dying from it. What are some of the things you'd want to talk about with that?
Yeah, I know that a few years ago, it started to peak. There was an initiative started to have all officers carry Narcan or naloxone. It's another name for it, which is it's kind of like a reversal drug for those that have overdosed on opioids. A lot of people, that had like back injuries or different type of surgeries, were given prescription medications on this, and maybe they started with the best intentions, and it just kind of went out of control, and all of a sudden now you're not getting prescriptions anymore, and then it moves on to to heroin. Heroin today is it's often laced with fentanyl, which is what kills a lot of people. And a big thing to know is that it affects anyone, and everyone from all different. It doesn't matter your economic, your social status, race, creed, religion. It doesn't matter. It affects everyone.
Everybody.
I mean, my family, we are victims of the opioid crisis as well. My sister, her oldest son, at age 23, he overdosed and died, from a heroin overdose. And you see how it tears apart families, how it something that people don't, when they start, I don't think they realize what they're getting themselves into. Right. I think that when we started the Narcan program, it started to tail off. It started to get better. But I will say that in the first 6 months of this year, over the same period last year, it's doubled again, in the county for the most part, that the uptick is, is happening again.
Yeah. So it has to be talked about. It has to be, somebody's got to start getting the information out there to people.
Definitely, and it's more than just from the arrest the bad guys, throw them in jail. Yeah. We are trying I know here in Peekskill City Court, we're trying to bring back a drug court, which will help get people to help instead of your sentence being, a year in jail or 6 months in jail or 10 years in jail. Your sentence might be, you have to go to this rehab, you have to go to this program. So I know that is something that Judge Johnson here in the city court is looking to bring back, and it has been successful in the past. I know from a police standpoint, we do a lot of operations that are, looking to stop, stop this from the criminal aspect,
right.
Through arrests and investigations. But it's also, something that everyone really has to, be aware of and not let, just.
Well, it's education too. I mean,
Exactly.
We've got to get the information out there. That's the main thing.
Definitely. You have to know that it's there, and it's something that once it bites hard and doesn't let go.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of crime, what do you find the most interesting about investigations?
I think that one of the things people don't realize is that we grow up on TV.
Yeah.
That's
the thing.
So
now it's so many cop shows.
So everyone grows up on the CSI type program. And investigations have come a very long way through DNA and different types of forensics.
Yeah.
But really, the work is done on the ground level. It's done by the officers and the detectives that are really just kind of beating the bush. That we're solving our crimes not through getting like a lab report saying, and the killer is, or the burglar is, and there's the name. That's not how we're solving crimes.
No, right.
We're solving it through doing a lot of legwork.
Footwork. Yep.
Exactly, and it is very rewarding. When crimes are solved.
Yeah.
You see when. You have high profile incidents here. I mean, unfortunately, we had a homicide, here last year. But our investigative team, they just jumped right in, and just the amount of work and the legwork and just traveling, really all over the county, gathering information, really led us to make an arrest on that becomes very fulfilling when you realize that it's all hard work. Like I said, it's not based on a swab.
Right.
So, and that does listen, that stuff does help, and that stuff is
Yeah.
You know, it's huge. You know, but you realize how much more, you know, goes into it. You know, so it's things like that that make you very proud, you know, to run a department. There are crimes that are always going to happen,
Yeah.
but if you can say you've solved all your crimes, you know, then I think it's a lot easier to hold your head up high.
Yeah.
You know.
This has been a great show. We just wanted to go over the DARE program real quick.
Yeah, the city of Peekskill, we offer DARE in the Peekskill schools. It's mainly situated in the 5th grade, and it's, you know, it's dealing with you know, keeping kids off drugs, like letting them know the dangers of drugs, and something that which is going to become really, you know, even more important now with you know, they talk about the proposed legalization of marijuana. You know, so it's going to become, you know, really important. But not only, we don't do it just in Peekskill. We do it in the town of Cortland, in their schools too. That we have an agreement with you know, with the town, and we're able to, you know, kind of get the word out, you know, to kids in you know, in schools, you know, outside of Peekskill as well. So like that's great for us to really get to know and develop relationships with kids, not just in the city, but in the surrounding town as well.
Well, it's all about crime prevention. Like they said, a pound of prevention is worth, you know.
Exactly. And it's all part of, you know, raising your kids. You know, they say it takes a village. Well,
of course,
you know, we're part of that village. You know, just like you know, it's parents, it's teachers, it's coaches, it's the police. You know, we're all involved.
Yeah. And what are you guys doing with autism?
You know, in May we were a particular patch for autism awareness, and one of the reasons was when you know, autism has gotten a lot more publicity over the last few years. People are talking about it more, which is great because people are you know, once it gets into the public mind, you know, you realize that there's members of the public, you know, that need to be dealt with a little bit differently, and therefore we've you know, sent our officers out to different training classes to realize that the conversation you and I are having, you know, might not be the same conversation as far as just being able to have a conversation. Well, that might not exist with, you know, with other people. You know, as far as, you know, like dealing with missing kids that are, especially, you know, on the autism spectrum. You know, a lot of people don't know that a lot of kids with autism are drawn to water. You know, so we having the Hudson River here, you know, it's something that
It's dangerous.
You know, it's dangerous. You know what I mean? We want our officers to be, you know, to be well informed, to be educated on how to deal with this, you know, this part of this section of the public, you know, that just, you know, they just need a different approach. You know, they just, you know, sometimes there's better ways to, you know, to be able to help them out. So we want to be, our officers
And
to be.
again, education.
Exactly, and through an awareness like that, it's not just the Peekskill Police. We're trying to get everybody involved and everyone to be more aware, and to, you know, to be able to help in any way we can.
You know. So we got 1 minute, and the last question is the car seats for the babies, infants, and
we do.
toddlers.
Every month at in conjunction with Presbyterian Hudson Valley Hospital on Crown Pond Road, we do like a car seat safety installation. A lot of times it's new parents that, you know, just had kids, but you don't have to be an infant. You know, it's those that use car seats.
Sure.
We want them to be safe. We want them to have it installed properly. So that's a service that we offer for free. That, as I said, once a month, it is up at Hudson Valley Hospital.
Yeah.
And we do that in the parking lot with the hospital staff. And it's a great way for people to kind of realize, hey, maybe I've been doing it wrong. Maybe I need to, you know, we just had somebody yesterday came and do one that I saw them doing it, and they were moving the seatbelt out of one spot to another, and the person said, oh, no, that's the right spot. And they were, no, it's not. The weight of your child does not meet that. You have to do it this way. Right. And she was like, you know, I didn't even realize that.
Wow.
So there are proper ways to do it. That's you know,
excellent.
if we can help, we will show you how to do it.
Well, I just want people to know that you are real people, and you're just like anybody else with families, and
Absolutely.
you know, you're just doing a job. It's just that your job can be a little more dangerous. So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to let people know that.
Yeah,
So
no, thank you so much.
Thanks
It's
so
true.
much for coming on.
Victor, thank
All
you.
right.
I appreciate it.
And hopefully you'll come on again. So
Awesome, anytime.
all right.